Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what
Immigration
Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at? I think
Butthole.
Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem?
Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news? It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back to another episode of the Veritas Road. Carson here with John. Listen, folks, it's daylight savings time, and I'm so tired and cranky already. It's 7 p.m. Central Time on November 4th, and I'm ready to jump off a damn cliff thanks to daylight savings time. But we're doing this anyway for you, with you in mind. Because we love you and we want to have your babies, okay? So let us have your thought babies, if you will. Let us touch you on Tuesday and tell you what touched us the past 2 weeks, since we haven't done this in a couple of weeks. John, I feel this is probably how, I imagine some of the people in concentration camps felt after not eating for several weeks. Also, I'm echoing now, and I don't know what you did to change that. I don't know if your mic's picking me up or what, but I'm echoing. We need to fix something. That's a problem. I can also hear the fridge. So, I don't think it's an issue with my earphones that I'm aware of.
I don't hear an echo.
I'm sorry. Maybe we'll hear that change. Okay. Okay, that's better.
I did nothing.
I know. I don't know what, maybe.
I did.
I'm still
Absolutely
not
nothing.
convinced that I'm not echoing, but we'll see.
There is
I lost
no
my
echo
train of
on
thought.
Stream according to the chat.
All right,
and
thanks.
Rumble. So
Whoever's
thank you, everyone.
letting us know. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
I'm just a fucking retard. I appreciate it, folks. Thanks for keeping me in line. What would we do without you? All right, so I'm fucking exhausted. I'm hearing echoes that aren't there. It's 5 days after Halloween, and it's a real struggle. So today, to start off on a current events note, is we've got the mayoral election going on in New York. I didn't add this to the document, John. This is off the dome. And we've got Mom Donnie against Andrew Cuomo, right? These are our front runners. And then some other guy whose name I keep forgetting. He's the Republican candidate. Cuomo's running as an independent. I don't know if anybody's looked. All the big talk is that Mom Donnie is this socialist, but he's young and he's a good guy and he's got a lot of good ideas. I took a look at some of his running points. I took a look at his running platform. And everything he's talking about is just let's give free shit to people. What's in the chat, John?
Some guy just said, "I'm the echo which lives in your head."
Oh, thank you, Cutie Pie. Sorry I called you Cutie Pie. But Mom Donnie has people are talking about. Sorry, that the echo that lives in my head was that got to me. I think that is living in my head now. That worked. Well done. I took a look at Mom Donnie's running platform, and most of the stuff he's running on is just let's give people free shit and cheaper shit. One of the things he's talking about is some of the things he's talking about are things like building more cheap, affordable government housing. But one that really freaked me out were government-run grocery stores. I can't think of anything more dystopian than a government-run grocery store. That sounds like something directly out of 1984. That is some socialist bullshit. Can you imagine walking up like you're in fucking the Soviet Union in 1968 to get your damn like government loaf of bread and the government cheese that's made out of probably some politician's jizz to take home to your kids and family to try to feed them, to pretend that your lives aren't falling apart and your government's not some weird pseudo-socialist fascist nightmare? Can you imagine doing that? Because that's what New York is going to turn into. It sounds like. I feel like it's already halfway there. Is anybody even interested in going to New York after Corona? People always ask me now when I meet them. They're like, do you like traveling? You must travel. You're a single guy with a decent job. You must travel. First of all, fuck you. I went to college. I have way too many student loans to travel. I'm getting anally raped by student debt on the daily. But no, I don't have any interest in traveling anymore unless it's in the middle of nowhere, because all these big cities turned into pseudo-socialist fascist nightmares that like are not fun to go to anymore. Who's interested in going to New York or Chicago or fucking Seattle or San Francisco or LA? No one's interested in that anymore. They drove all the people that were in those cities out, and guess where they're going on vacation? Fucking Tennessee, and they're ruining the place where we live. They're trying to build dams here in Columbia, which is upsetting because the whole city will be underwater. All the Californians are moving here, and it's making me cranky. Starting out on a hot note with a rant. John, you look like you have something to say.
I'm just saying to the 13 people who have joined us on Rumble, welcome.
Oh yeah, welcome. Thank you for listening. Appreciate it, guys.
I mean, they're not freaking coming here on vacation. They're just coming here to live.
Well, a bunch of them are coming on vacation now. I read this article the other day that, like, you know, tourism in places like Florida is down, places like L.A. is down, Chicago, New York. Guess where tourism's on the rise? Nashville, Austin, fucking Idaho, all these rural, like, bastions of freedom. That's where people are going on vacation because they're actually fun to go to. You can actually have a good time. Instead of going to New York and feeling like you're living in, and I'm going to say it one more time, some kind of pseudo-socialist fascist nightmare. Because that's what it's turning into. That is exactly what those cities are turning into. We're going to have, mark my words, there's going to be, because like we got midterm elections going on right now, right? Trump's, you know, he's got all the right-wing folks, and so typically midterms swing the other way, right? So we're going to get a new, like, crop of liberals that get elected into office, people like Mom Donnie. They're going to have all these, like, liberal policies. Hey, we're going to have food for everybody, affordable housing. And then guess what's also going to happen at the same time? That they're controlling your food and the places you live. And guess what? You better have a good social credit score to get on this new free bus Mom Donnie's talking about, because we've got free buses now for some strange reason. Nobody has to pay for them. Oh, wait, you're the taxpayer. You have to pay for them, but they're free. So we have this like pseudo-socialist thing going on, and then we just start sprinkling in the fascism with people coming into places like Seattle, fucking Memphis, all these like National Guard troops coming in to take over these cities from the federal government. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. That's what's going to happen. Okay. I think that's about all I have to say about the New York mayoral election. I forgot who the third guy was. Do you remember who it's Mamdani, Cuomo, and someone else who seems irrelevant?
I haven't been really paying attention to it that much. I did see earlier this morning that Trump essentially just endorsed Cuomo for that.
Yeah, he did.
It's just kind of interesting that just, you know, one of the worst lockdown criminals is now kind of getting embraced a little bit by the right, and I think that's kind of ridiculous, but I don't know. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it because it's like these places. I just don't see how much worse they can get. And it's like anybody with money seems to have left there a long time ago, and it's like they're coming over across Tennessee, Texas, and Florida, and just absolutely ruining those places.
They are.
So it's like I don't even really know what the play is for this. It's almost just like they're got to the point where it's just like you could do your own thing and we're not going to really affect it anymore because, like, how much worse can New York get?
That's a good question. I have not been, so I don't know. I hear it's bad. I hear it's unpleasant. But, like, as those people... What?
Nothing.
Oh. As those people... leave. The ones that are leaving are the ones who at least have like a tiny shred of sense, you would think, right? They at least know enough and have enough money to get the fuck out of there, right? it's going to be easier and easier to control these places. It's going to be easier and easier to turn them into like these dystopian wastelands, which seems to be kind of what they're headed for, because it's a lot easier to justify things like, I don't know, the National Guard taking over if there's a shitload of crime and nobody's doing anything about it. It's a lot easier to justify all these like weird socialist things that Mamdani is trying to put into play, like free buses, like federalized grocery stores, right? If everybody is super broke and living on the streets, it's a lot easier to make that happen if all the people with any sense and any money got the hell out of there. So guess what's left? Retarded people who are broke and have not a thought in their heads.
Right.
And all those people are coming here and spreading their sick California liberal faggy mind virus.
See, but I mean, I feel like that's more of like the end goal of all this, because it's like, it's not that difficult to kind of control those places already. Like, they're already so centralized and dependent. Like, you cut off the power, for a night, you'll kill half the population. It seems like they want, to spread those people out and spread them into smaller communities all around the country, and kind of make all of these small little towns kind of like those places, and kill that kind of last little bit of semblance of community that seemed to be around.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what's happening. They're killing two birds with one stone. They're making these cities a whole lot easier to control and manipulate, and they're destroying middle America, the middle class Americans out, in people consider like some of these Californians consider Nashville to be rural, which I think is hilarious, but like in rural America, they're finishing destroying the cities and starting the downfall of these like bastions of freedom and free will across the states. Two birds, one stone. Why not? Why wouldn't you? It's super fucking easy. Sorry, all you Californians who came here pre-corona, but yeah.
I mean, even pre-corona, it was a problem. But
I mean, that's true, but I'm less upset at those people. I'm less upset at those people.
Yeah. It's a little bit less of a consequence of their own making.
A lot of those just happened to move here, Yeah. The corona people bitched out, didn't stand up for like their own freedoms where they lived, and came here, and they're starting to destroy Tennessee, Florida, Texas, fucking Alabama, all of these places, because some of them come here to assimilate and be part of the community. Like some of them move to, it's not far off from illegal immigration or immigration in general. Some immigrants move to just like assimilate into the populace wherever they're going, right? And that's great. Some of them move to try to like create new like weird Sharia law states in the middle of London. Okay? We don't want those people. Californians are trying to create weird faggy butt sex law states in the middle of Tennessee and Florida. We don't want that. Go back. We don't want that. Please leave.
Yeah. Madeline, Arkansas is not going to be safe for long, I can guarantee you. Once they get through Tennessee, they're going to start moving to Arkansas and Mississippi, or probably next. I lived in eastern Arkansas for 4 years, and it's going to start there, I can just tell.
I just can't imagine who would want to move to Arkansas. No offense. No offense to Arkansas or people from there.
All of these freaking cities are getting a whole lot. They're getting so shitty. Is like people are going to get desperate.
Yeah, and that's what's happening. Even like here in our little localized area around Middle Tennessee is an easy example. Like Nashville is the biggest city around where we live, and people are moving the fuck away from Nashville. Maybe it's only an hour or two away, but they're moving away from there because rent prices are skyrocketing. There's an uptick in crime. The homeless people are taking over the streets. Nobody can afford it. It's awful, and people are getting the hell out of there. And now they're turning the surrounding areas into just like unlivable, yuppie nightmare towns. It's like Central Intelligence from that book, A Wrinkle in Time. That's what it reminds me of. Super uncomfortable. And it all seems to be coming from the top down. It's this weird, like, I don't know. It's this weird centralized. It seems to be centralized insofar as like it's all synchronous. Everybody's moving from these big cities all at once. It was kind of the same deal with Corona, where like everybody shut down all at once, and so it all seems to be coming from like the same place, not the same geographical place, but the same like mental place and emotional place and spiritual place, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, all right. Anything else on on that before we move on?
Yeah,
I did not expect to start with that.
Yeah, not really. Not a whole lot more you can say about that. I will say she's now talking about Arkansas in the chat. You are right. Like, the Ozarks are awesome. Heber's awesome. Eastern Arkansas just sucks. It's like once you're kind of east of Little Rock, it's all just crap. But the western side of the state is very pretty.
See, I've been to the eastern portion of the state, and it's gross.
Yeah, it's bad.
But I hear the Ozarks are really pretty.
They are.
So
They are.
I'll give that its a due.
Yeah.
Having not been there. Sorry, Madeline, if I disparaged your lovely homeland. I hope you can forgive me.
Oh yeah, Hot Springs is great.
So, people are putting out articles. Well, okay, we don't have to talk about this article specifically necessarily, but we're in what, day 35 of the government shutdown now, right? Is it day 35? I think it's day 35.
Still going?
Yeah, it's still going on. Right. And who's even aware? If you have just a regular life, you have no fucking clue that the government shutdown's going on. But there are all sorts of emotional ploys out there that seem like they're trying to make people either afraid of the government shutdown continuing or just like sad about the government shutdown. Like, oh my gosh, these people aren't going to get their SNAP benefits. That's a big one right now, is the funding of SNAP. Except it seems like there are a bunch of articles out there that the Trump administration is going to at least half fund SNAP, which ideally, if the government shutdown only lasts another, say, 2 weeks, all these fat people can go buy their Twinkies on government money. They can go buy their government cheese with your tax money, and they'll be fine. So, not a big deal, right? But then there are articles like this that say, is it safe to fly during the government shutdown? Is there an authority you can look to tell you if it's safe to fly? Let's find out. And so it seems like air traffic controllers, I guess, aren't getting paid right now while the government's shut down, and so some of them are going on strike, and some of them are just saying, hey, I'm showing up to work, but I'm giving like less than a fuck. I'm not even giving 2. I'm giving less than 1 because I'm not getting paid, which makes sense. I don't blame you. But there are all sorts of articles like this cropping up that seem to be just grabbing for people's like emotional attention about the government shutdown. For me, it seems like a symptom of the complete apathy surrounding the whole like alleged dilemma, right? No one cares. Nobody's concerned about it. It's obviously some kind of weird like WWE SmackDown play going on. Freaking Fetterman or whatever his name is out there with his thumb up his ass looking like a meth addict from Texas talking about how he voted for the government to stay open and Democrats should do the right thing and vote for the government to stay open. But no one cares. The only people who care are probably like walking around with 1 foot on their deathbed and the other on a very slippy cum stain on the floor. Like they're about to be dead here very soon. These boomers that give 2 shits about the government shutdown are the only people that care. And that's because they've been brainwashed to care. And that's because, quite frankly, they're the only people with something to lose from the economy tanking. Everybody else stopped caring a long time ago. But they still seem to be grabbing for people's attention, and it doesn't make any sense. It's like they need it. It's like they need you to give a shit about something that doesn't affect your life at all. It doesn't affect anyone's life at all. The only way it's affected my life is pissing me off seeing this article. That's the only way it's affected my life, and probably yours too.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of hit on this when we were talking with Robert.
We did. I just
last
keep
week
seeing
on when we were doing our kind of NASA deep dive. Is like we kind of hit on. It's just like Gen Z and we'll probably get to this a little bit later and some of the other shit we got to say. But like Gen Z and a lot of the millennials is like they're not really invested in this anymore. You know,
they're not.
And like they don't have anything tied up in this system at all. They don't have anything tied up in the political system. They certainly don't have anything tied up in the financial system. Right. So there's like they don't have any fucking reason to care, right? And it just seems like they're just grasping at straws, trying to get them into it again, and it's not going to work. And it's like there's probably some other shit that we can talk about that's very evident of that, but I don't know. I don't really know. You know, like no one's. This isn't going to be anybody's buy-in, right? Talking
No.
about fucking flying.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just a bunch of really very low effort attempts to try to get people to care about this, and they're just not going to, because it's like they've got nothing in it anymore.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right. And how ironic is it? I don't know why this got me, but how great is it that the article is below this ad for freaking Dairy Queen chicken strips and fries that takes up half the screen. If that doesn't tell you about the state of this country, I don't know what does. I don't know what does. Make your ass fat, lazy, bitchy, and gay, and also be scared about the government shutdown. Like, that's what this screen says. What a great just like snapshot of the state of the country. I think that's delightful. Let's replace the American flag with that. I think that'd be I think that'd be pretty accurate, honestly. What else do we have here? So speaking of like people's disillusionment with the government, and I think we have some stuff in the Twitter about this. We don't necessarily have to pull like all of it up because we had like I think you put a ton of articles in there about it. More and more we're seeing people from Gen Z and millennials become disillusioned with all this stuff going on with Israel. And now there's all this Tucker Carlson stuff going on where people are coming out and saying, "Oh my gosh, he's the worst. He interviewed Nick Fuentes," who does seem to be kind of a fag. But he has some opinions about Israel that may or may not be correct. They maybe, you know. And it's very obvious, what with AIPAC and everything else, that they have a very heavy influence on the government. It's very obvious they're committing genocide out in the Middle East. And so, like, why are people who are being critical of that being called, like, Hitler? And Murph's talked about, like, what an anti-Semite actually is on here a million times. I'm not going to rehash that. But, like, people like Tucker Carlson are being absolutely vilified in the media. I mean, I honestly, I don't know a ton about him. Journalist, was on Fox News forever. What else is there to really know about him? I'm sure plenty. But like, why is this a thing if not for the fact that they seem to own the entire government? I can think of no other reason that people would be that upset about people being critical of Netanyahu, right? What kind of gay-ass name is Bibi, by the way? I get it's short for Benjamin, but that's fucking gay. Get a better name, you bitch. If you're going to run a country, get a better name than BB. You sound like my grandmother. Fix that. It's scarier that way. Also, his voice is gross. But anyway, we have all these people being super critical of him, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And they're saying some kind of awful things about him. There are some people who are calling for like his murder, which is wild. Blows my mind. So yeah, I just don't feel like that makes sense in any scenario where they're not owned by Israel. AIPAC is the largest, like not funder. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not GMO, NGO. The largest NGO donor to congressmen, I think. Period. Every congressman has AIPAC funding. Every single one. They're in Israel's pocket, period.
Right.
What else is there to even say about this?
Well, I mean, I've been kind of trying to keep up with this whole Tucker Carlson bullshit. It's kind of, a lot of it's a waste of time. But it kind of strikes me is, again, like, people like Ben Shapiro, people like Mark Levin, is they don't really understand Gen Z at all. And is like, it kind of occurred to me is like, these people kind of got their status in like conservatism, really by like cutting off some really low hanging fruit in like, 2014 to 2017 when they're debating, all of these just retarded leftists. And it's like, yeah, that's super easy to do that. But like the culture's moved on, right? It's like, we're not going back to, pre-Trump round one, to where people are, questioning, like, what a woman is or bullshit like that.
Right.
And it's like they now actually have to have like some type of like coherent, like intelligent take, especially on this Israel issue. And most of them are just very unimpressive. And now they're just trying as hard as they can to just hold on to the status that they're losing.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
And they just don't understand like what like Gen Z is going to respond to. And it's like Charlie Kirk, it seemed like he was starting to get it.
Yeah, he seemed like he was kind of flipping his own script on that.
But like people like Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, whatever you might think about Nick Fuentes, I have a lot of opinions. They do understand, like, they understand Gen Z as a generation and like and like how they are culturally a lot more than these freaking retards like that just old decrepit piece of crap does.
He looks like the ghost of Billy Joel to me.
Oh, that's a great description of him.
I agree. Having just said it.
Yeah, I never even thought
Mark
about
Levin looks like the ghost of Billy Joel. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And saying things like, well, Israel's our ally, Zion, doesn't work anymore. People aren't bought in to this idea of the American dream anymore, honestly. And that's what these people were trying to sell first and foremost. And then they're like, Israel's our ally. America's a great country. We got to take care of the people who type of bullshit. And you're right. People aren't buying it. People stopped buying it a while ago. People stopped buying it when Trump came out and called every single politician on that stage a fucking pussy. People stopped buying it then. That may be one of the good things that came out of Trump being elected. Was people started to see how stupid this is and also just get absolutely disillusioned with the politics in this country. Yeah. If you scroll up a minute, though, I have something to say about this fat fuck. All right? This man, Randy Fine, who is very pro-Israel, and I looked this up, his diet consists of 6 million calories a day. He eats 6 million calories a day, and don't you dare fucking question it.
No more, no less.
6 million calories, people. He gets it in his system. He burns those calories. He fucking gases that shit. He's running a blitzkrieg on food, if you catch my drift. All right, I'm done.
Is that all you had to say on that?
That's really all I had to say about that. He needs somebody to Hitler him up with some more food. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, people are becoming disillusioned, and this whole call for like let's cancel Tucker, it's not gonna wash either. Like all this right wing cancel culture is some bullshit. Why are we bringing that back? I thought all these supposed Republicans were against cancel culture. We're for the freedoms of Americans. We care about the middle class of America. We want you to be free and be able to beat your wife and kids in private like God intended. Okay. But this cancel culture bullshit's the exact opposite. Not that that's a good thing, but this cancel culture stuff is the exact opposite of what they've been saying to try to get all the middle-class Americans on board. If that doesn't tell you they're full of shit, I don't know what else does. Do you have anything more to say? We've got to move on before I say something that's going to get me in more trouble. Yeah.
I actually don't think I do. I kind of got lost in that a little bit, if I'm not going to lie. So
not sleepy anymore, folks. All right. What, John?
Sorry, who would have thought that fried foreskins have so many calories?
Fried foreskins.
That's a golden comment right there.
Yeah. Fried foreskins. Thank you for that. Whoever wrote that, that's hilarious. That's
whoop my baby mama hoe ass.
That's also an excellent screen name. I'm very proud of you. So on the subject of like a bunch of bullshit in the news, right? Two things that I want to note. What were they? I have my piece of paper right here. Stand by. All these monkeys. What's with all these monkey news stories? Okay? I don't understand. Like, 6 months ago, there were these monkeys that got lost in Virginia, right? They escaped, and there were these, like, weekly reports on how many monkeys were left. And now, again, there were, I guess there was a truck full of rhesus monkeys that turned over, and the monkeys got out of the truck, but they recovered most of them. So now there are 3 rhesus monkeys that are just out living their best life in the wilds of, like, Mississippi, I think. What state was this in? Mississippi? One of the Carolinas?
Yeah, Mississippi.
Mississippi. Like, what is with all these monkey stories? And these were, at least according to, like, the articles I've read on them, these were, like, test monkeys. So they use rhesus monkeys a lot for, like, medical testing. They use, like, monkey kidney cells from monkeys like rhesus monkeys in, guess what kind of research, folks? Drumroll, gain of function research, which was what allegedly led to corona, according to the normies, right? And so it's just like to me, it seems like some weird continuation of that narrative. And maybe that's me being like some insane conspiracy theorist who's been exposed to this shit too long that I just assume it's all connected. But it seems like some weird continuation of the corona narrative to me. But at the end of the day, it just seems odd with all this monkey shit. I don't understand why this is in the news. What are you supposed to gain? Like, oh my gosh, if I see a monkey, I better run the other way. If I'm in fucking Mississippi, nobody's going there anyway. There's going to be no one there to see these monkeys. 3 inbred people and their cow. That's all that's going to see these monkeys. Anyway. There's just more and more shit coming down the pipe like this, and it just seems like, I mean, and you've said this before, it seems like whatever machine they're using to write the narratives is just starting to fall apart, and all they can come up with is, some monkeys got out this time. Some monkeys left. They're carrying AIDS. Don't fuck a monkey or you'll get AIDS. Maybe that's where monkeypox came from. Which has suddenly disappeared, by the way. Monkeypox was a thing. There were a bunch of gay dudes with like giant welts on them, and now it's not a thing anymore. What happened to monkeypox? Probably about the same thing that happened to H1N1. It just disappeared one day. Also, Dick Cheney's dead. R.I.P.
Again.
Yeah. So he died once.
I mean,
right?
I don't know. This just feels like this is like his 7th death in like 6 years. Or, you know, it literally is like, I guess reptilian chats have like 9 lives or something. 'Cause it seems like he dies probably every other, like, 3 months.
It does seem like a weird Mandela thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you have to wonder about that. What is going on at CERN? Are they actually changing reality? But it does seem like a weird Mandela thing. You're right. Also, Is that just like a generic win? You know, like are we sad about Dick Cheney dying? Are we upset? I don't have my finger on the pulse of America, but like how many people are that rattled by the idea that former vice president and CEO of Halliburton, who stole a fuck ton of money, got us into a war in Afghanistan, got your kids killed, and then shot a guy in the forest? How upset are we that he's passed on? As Toad said on Twitter, he went on a hunting trip with God.
Yeah, that was a great comment. I mean, most people probably already thought he was dead, to be honest. So it's like
he's had like 15 heart attacks.
Yeah. So it's like I don't think that many people really care. Which is kind of interesting because it's like he completely shaped like the post 9/11 world.
He did. Yeah.
Like that was his thing. And you know, now it's like most people probably didn't even know who he is. And it is just kind of interesting that happens while this like kind of war in, you know, kind of conservatism is going on, and it is kind of a war between that post 9/11 world and the kind of like the neocon thought that came out of it, and this kind of new conservatism. And it's kind of interesting that he just has kind of died.
Yeah.
Right when that's going on.
Almost like the death of an era.
Yeah, a little bit. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot you can really say about it, you know?
No, there's really not. I just wanted to make sure we got that going on a hunting trip with God comment out there.
Yeah.
For those who aren't aware, because a lot of people aren't, he famously went on a hunting trip with some other senator and just shot him.
Yeah.
Because
Shot him.
sometimes
I was looking at that today. He shot him in the
Yeah.
face with a 28
he
gauge
did.
shotgun.
He did.
Apparently, he didn't kill. I always thought he killed the guy.
So did I.
He
but
didn't.
he didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just shot him in the face with
Yeah.
a shotgun.
And apparently, like, they had dinner after. It was apparently just very cordial.
That's a really cordial shooting.
Yeah.
How did Alexander Burr? How did Hamilton and Burr handle that shit? They made sure to kill each other,
Well,
like men should.
they didn't kill each other.
Well, one killed the
Yeah,
other.
Burr won out. Alexander Hamilton, I don't even actually think tried to shoot him. He, like, shot in the air, didn't he?
Yeah, like a little bitch.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a duel, at least have the balls to shoot the other person.
Yeah.
If you're gonna show up to it, I wouldn't show up. I would bitch out and stay at home. But if you're gonna show up to one,
Well, that was kind of the point of dueling, was to show up.
yeah,
A lot of times people would just show up, and that would be the duel.
right.
It was all about your
Just
honor.
like,
So.
we're good. You showed up. We're
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, right. Which is weird. Back when men were men, had wooden teeth and did weird things with. Anyway, all right. We talked about the monkeys. So Jamaica's getting a new smart city just in time for this hurricane to destroy literally everything on the island.
Yeah, Robert talked about that.
I looked into
And-
it a little bit because I wasn't 100% sure because I love you, Murph. Sometimes I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you full of shit? It was not. Jamaica has like an Agenda 2030, essentially, that is to, among other things, create like this. There are all these like smart objectives, which doesn't like it doesn't all refer to like smart city type of shit, but a lot of it does. Like a new electric grid, fucking electric, like, you know, cars, smart boards in all the classrooms, a lot of surveillance. And it's odd that just in time to start construction, right? Nature's bulldozer stops by to literally destroy everything. Now, is that HARP directing the hurricane? I don't know. That would be my guess, given the fact that, what is that city in Georgia that, like, we talked about it on the weather modification pod. They I think they won a lawsuit against the government saying, hey, the government made this hurricane sit over our city for X amount of time and fucked our city. They won like a couple of $1 million.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
And so, like, this isn't some type of made-up shit. This is real stuff that happens. And it's just ironic that Jamaica, of all places, I mean, not of all places, it's in the middle of the ocean, but Jamaica gets leveled by, like, the worst hurricane in a long-ass time, right? Right before they need to start construction on the new, like, revamp all of Jamaica and turn it into a smart city initiative. And as I assume most folks are aware, and I'm not a huge fan of the whole, like, it's weird. I don't have an answer for you, but it's weird. But there's legitimately information out there about the fact that your U.S. government, like, will influence, at the very least, influence storms. Did you find it?
Yeah, it was. This doesn't have like the complete information on it, but it was. I remember it was. It was in the 1950s, wasn't it?
I don't remember the date. No.
Shit. Well, I'm not sure if I found it or not. I would have to go back and like look through the notes from that episode to actually find.
This is why I need just a little more autism so I can remember shit like that.
Yeah.
But if you want more information on it, you can check out our episode on weather modification. I don't remember what number that was. It's been a minute. But there was a hurricane that like sat over a city. I'm pretty sure it was in Georgia. And the city, I think it was the city, sued the government and won like a few $1 million in damages as a result of that lawsuit. Because the government admitted to at the very least, influencing the weather over the city for a little bit. And then, oh yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. There was Project Storm Fury, where they hypothesized that silver iodide would disrupt hurricanes. And they seeded several hurricanes in the Atlantic during this test to try to make this happen. So it didn't work to the silver iodide didn't work to disrupt the hurricane, but they admit to seeding several hurricanes in the Atlantic to make this happen, which that's full on admitted by your government. So there's that. But if we look at Agenda 2030 for Jamaica, John, let's pull that up and just look at some of that. Because it is it's like the same stuff they talked about at the World Economic Forum, where they're like, you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. You're never going to have to walk more than 20 minutes from your house. People are going to watch you all the time. They're going to watch you sleep. They're going to watch you eat. They're going to watch you shit. They're going to watch you fuck. Part of their initiatives are a vibrant and internationally competitive economy. What's that mean? Nothing. If we go to their website, it says more about what they're actually building. And, I mean, we don't have to look at all of this, but the general idea is we're building essentially a giant smart grid surveillance system in Jamaica for some unknown reason. They're going to say it's for the good of the people. But if I had to guess, I would assume the lovely island-dwelling folks of Jamaica would rather be left alone, because that's what 99% of people out there want. They just want to be fucking left alone, and that's not happening. We leveled an island to build a new smart city, a new construction sector plan, a new water sector plan, a new governance sector plan, fucking education. They're messing with genders now, okay? They're bringing all this gender shit to Jamaica. So I guess you're going to have to, I don't know. I guess you're going to be able to go to the ladies' room with a penis. I'm really not sure. But they're yeah, they're doing all this shit. All right. Anything else on Jamaica? It's just depressing, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that really sucks. I kind of watched a little bit of what was going on down there, and it's kind of incredible. Just the force of that hurricane. It was, I think it was the largest and strongest hurricanes to originate in the Atlantic, or maybe tied.
If that's the case, that's wild.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I didn't even know anything really about this other than Robert's kind of mentioned it offhand last week.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to look into this more. This is crazy.
Yeah. It's amazing how this hurricane just happens to hit perfectly timed for construction to start on this.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
That almost, it's kind of the playbook, 'cause they did that in freaking California, is where now as all these corporations are going in, and the government of California also going in and just buying up properties after the Palisades fire.
Carolina.
And I think they did the same shit in Hawaii too.
Yeah.
Curious to see how many blue roof structures survived the storm in Jamaica.
Did they all get
I don't
fucking
know.
blown down?
I have to take a look at that. Yeah, that's wild. Goodness.
Yeah, it's insane. The people of that country are about to, it looks like, just not have a good time. It's going to be a very bad time, it seems. And you're right. This has happened in a number of areas across this country. California, that place in Texas where they had those rainstorms.
Oh, yeah.
They bought up a ton of property down there. They bought up a ton of property, and it was in North Carolina where they had those other storms out there. It's happening all the time now. And it's obviously planned insofar as all these natural disasters are happening in places where there are either very highly valuable resources, maybe it's super valuable property, maybe it's a populace they want to change, but they're all happening in weirdly strategic places. None of this shit's happening in bumfuck nowhere, Tennessee, really. It's not happening. You might have the odd tornado that, takes down a house, but that's about it.
No, I mean, East Tennessee got some of that North Carolina shit.
Which a ton of that got bought up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those areas where it's just too convenient and too seemingly planned to ignore.
Right.
All right, so we talked a little bit about Israel, and I want to just flip back to this real quick for just a second. They had Fashion Week in Israel pretty recently, and Israel is obviously a very religious place. And as a result, we think of them as being generically, they're very good people. They're very, very good people. They're very nice. They like to pray at a wall. They wear their little hats. They control the porn industry. I like the porn industry. Stormy was very good. She was very good in bed. She was great at porn. Very good. But Israel, again, allegedly super religious place. They just had Fashion Week in Tel Aviv pretty recently. And for the folks listening, this is going to suck. But if you're watching, this was one of the dresses during Fashion Week. If you look at the, I'm going to sound a little here. But if you look at the bodice of the dress, it looks exactly, and I'm sure this is just artistic expression. I'm sure this was just a very friendly little Jewish man who's working his fingers to the bone for his wife and kid. If he were a rich man, yabba dicky dum. I'm sure that this is an accident on his part. But it's odd how much the bodice of that dress looks exactly like the Baphomet. Which, if you're not familiar with what the Baphomet is it's kind of a big deal as far as Satanism's concerned. It's a weird, like, goat man with tits and a cock. And that bodice looks a lot like the Baphomet. Kind of weird that it's displayed during Fashion Week in Tel Aviv. But again, I'm just sure this was a friendly Israeli seamstress who was making a bodice for a dress and just wanted it to look pretty. He likes the idea of horns because he likes to suck on other people's horns and made a few for the dress. I'm sure it was just an absolute happy accident. I don't know. What do you think, John? That look Baphomet-y to you?
I mean, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. You see, it's, maybe this is bad, but I almost, like, don't even get interested by this kind of stuff anymore because it's just like it's just so prevalent
and it's everywhere. It is everywhere.
Once you see it, it's just like it's to the point. It's like if you just keep paying attention to it, it just drives you mad.
It does.
You know?
You're right.
So
I think this is the kind of stuff that when a normie looks at it, they're like, oh fuck, it does look like the Baphomet, which is why I kind of try to pay attention to it sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, and people expect this in, normal countries, I guess, countries that aren't theocracies. But Israel is like, isn't that kind of weird? Aren't they supposed to be like super, can I say the J word? Super Jewy? Aren't they supposed to be like super religious? And then there's this. It's just even more odd given the fact that this was in Tel Aviv of all places. And then, by way of ending this on a positive note, you sent me this not too long ago, John. Our great president, Donald J. Trump, you can go and bet on him in betting markets, in political betting markets. You can go bet on whether or not Donald Trump is going to say the N-word in 2026. What are the odds on Donald Trump saying the N-word in 2026, John? What odds can I get?
I think it was like up 17%.
Wow. I'm betting on Donald Trump saying the N-word. Will Trump say the N-word in November? Not even 2026. Wow. What website is that on?
It's on Polymart.
Nice. Is there any more shit in here we need to talk about?
Oh yeah, actually. So.
You're doing a lot of scrolling.
I know, I scrolled past it.
Oh yeah, Pelosi's not getting reelected, right?
Yeah.
She says she's not running for re-election.
Like, if you want evidence that, like, all of this shit is coming to a head and we're getting close to the end, like, this should be enough. It's like one of the largest career politicians is stepping out come next year.
We'll see what happens. That is weird that she's not running for re-election.
Yeah.
That is very odd. And how am I going to pick my stocks now? I don't have her to follow.
Right. How is this guy going to... I hope he gets his lectern back. I hope that's her parting gift because he deserves it.
He does deserve it.
But, yeah, it's like this whole order has to be coming to an end. It just has to be. It's just getting... Like, I thought Nancy Pelosi would be fucking in office till I died.
I mean, I don't know. I see your point. This whole idea of like a career political demon, finally deciding to call it quits does seem like, hey, maybe something is about to either wind down or blow up, right? And maybe it is. But for me, and maybe this is me just praying that instead of waking up to an absolute, like, even worse shit show tomorrow, I'll wake up and not want to jump off a cliff. I just feel like we see this stuff so often, like Nancy Pelosi's leaving, everything's going to fucking go to shit. You know, it's a sign of the times. I feel like it's... How do we even know at this point? Stuff like that happens so... I mean, not so often, but every time it happens, it seems like it's ramped up as this big event, and then, like, nothing changes. And maybe that's me being nihilistic and kind of a Debbie Downer.
That's actually probably you not being nihilistic, in all honesty.
And that might be actually be me actually. Yeah, fair point. That may be me actually being a little bit hopeful about life. But it seems like people, especially in like the truth community, will drum this up, you know, to be this like, Pelosi's leaving office. What could be happening to cause her to be leaving office, right? And it's a valid question. Absolutely valid question. And we're all going to miss her massive tits. I think we'll all be sad to see those leaving Congress, okay? Because those have made waves.
Okay.
Not with me personally, but I've heard people talk about them. But I just wonder, is anything big going to happen, or is this going to be just another like red herring out there to drum up fear and worry and concern amongst like the truth community and just give you something else to scream about, and then have like people, normies in the mainstream media say, no, you were wrong, you're crazy. Because that seems to happen all the time. And I don't know. It could go either way. I'm really not sure, but it is, to your point, it is wild that she's finally stepping down from a lifelong political career, and thank heaven she is. One demon down, a hell of a lot more to go. And with that, folks, thank you for tuning in to Touch Me Tuesdays on the Veritas Road. John, are there any messages we need to be aware of or respond to before we wrap this son of a bitch up?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Garrison is, and on YouTube said she's a host for a demon, and her organism is winding down. Time for a big transfer sacrifice ritual, so the show can go on. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, that is kind of interesting because it's like
AOC seems to be like her heir apparent to me.
Well, yeah, but also it's just like
AOC's also.
I don't know if you've Tucker Carlson did a interview with Dave Smith today.
I haven't seen
and
it
it's
yet,
like
yeah.
With all this talk, he seems to be he's kind of hinted a couple of times that he might get killed. So there have
been rumblings.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That could be coming down the pipe then.
Who knows? Yeah, yeah. There has been a lot of I mean, and some of those people were like, Tucker Carlson should get offed because of like him platforming these people, which is odd again, but I don't know. Yeah. No, he's right. It's probably going to culminate in some weird ritual, but who knows what'll come out of that? You know, is the show just going to continue to go on, or will it be the end? We don't know. Who knows? If somebody out there does know, please tell me. Please tell me. All right. Any other messages or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I do not see anyone who is live right now on our Rumble, so I don't have anyone to raid, so I apologize.
We're just 0 for 3 on rating people.
Yeah, it's the past 3 weeks. I don't know if Tuesday's just a really shitty day at 7.
Maybe we picked a good day that there aren't any streams, so people can tune in here on the Veritas Road.
I would like to send people somewhere else, but there is no one to send, so I apologize. Maybe I just need to follow more people.
I was going to say, maybe we should follow more people.
I don't know. I feel like I got a good.
I'm sure there's somebody live, but we will try better next time.
Right. I do know how to do it though. I think.
I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. That sounds like I know how to do it, Dad. I know how to do it. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Tonight's been fun. Sorry I was so tired and cranky at the beginning. Catches, huh?
What are we doing Monday?
We're doing, I don't know yet.
Okay. It was your responsibility. Me and Robert both tasked that to you.
All right.
So
I don't know what we're doing Monday yet. We'll find out on not today. Tune in Monday, though. We'll be live on Monday, this coming Monday. What else? Check us out on all the socials. Please be sure to follow our Twitter account. Our old one got nuked. We would, like to build that back up. If you want uncensored episodes and a little bit of bonus content coming at some point down the line once I get the rest of this shit I need in, check out our Patreon because our uncensored eps will be going up there. If you haven't followed us on YouTube, Rumble, or Twitter yet, be sure to. Feel free to donate to our PayPal if you like what we're doing. And with that, folks, thanks for listening. It's been a pleasure. Have a great night if you want to. I don't want to tell you what to do, but if you want to have a great night, go fucking have one. Good night.